Hey guys, what is up and welcome to another video. This is going to be kind of a rant video that I am talking about a specific topic that I will also be making an article post about on a website called cloth5.com, where has a lot of really cool article posts, and I really recommend checking it out if you want to kind of improve and read and just get better at League of Legends. So this topic is going to be talking about why I personally think Teleport is better than Ignite on most of the casters in League of Legends for the middle lane. Now, there's many other options such as Exhaust, there's Barrier, and there's Teleport, but honestly, I feel Ignite can be quite lackluster. Now, I'm not trying to say that you should never pick up Ignite again, nor am I saying that it is essentially wrong. But what I am trying to say is that if you're playing someone like a Lissandra or a Xerath, Ryze, a Lux, I think that Teleport will be a lot more beneficial to you throughout the game than a simple Ignite. And there's many different reasons as to why I think this, and I'm going to talk to you guys about that in this video. So before I begin and explain my reasoning behind this, I want to quickly point out one important thing. So what I'm trying to say is that Teleport is my preference. I'm not saying it's just flat out better, and I'm not saying that you should run it on every single champion, because if you're running something like Assassins in the middle lane, like a Zed or a Kha'Zix, LeBlanc, maybe even an Ahri, Ignite might be better, because those champions' sole focus, their sole role in your team and in the composition is to pretty much burst out one specific high priority target, like their enemy ADC or their middle laner, someone who does a lot of damage, and sometimes they even suicide for that, and they might need that Ignite just to make sure that they pick up the kill. So keep this in mind that I am mainly talking about middle casters that are actual casters, people that have, for example, self-peel, people that bring a lot of crowd control into team fights, people that are not essentially champions that will suicide in order to take out someone like a higher priority target like ADC or the enemy middle laner, people like a Lux, people like a Lissandra, a Xerath, a Ryze, people like that is what I am mainly referring to. But again, this can be taken with a grain of salt, and it can be applied more or less to other situations. But I'll let you guys kind of figure that out for yourself, as this video's main purpose is to pretty much give you a base understanding. So there's three reasons. The first one is Teleport offers great lane sustain if needed. So a common tactic that high level players would use is to push the lane as hard as they can, especially if their enemy mid laner has decided to go back to base and pick up items and or heal. Many champions will purposely and constantly push the lane hard no matter what in order to harass you while you try your best to CS under turret, and slowly but surely wither you down until you pretty much have to back to the base and heal up. And if you do that, this will result in a wave of a few minions, or result in losing experience and all that stuff, which can be extremely detrimental to your laning phase and how well you pretty much will scale out of the lane and how effective and useful you will be for your team during the team fights and mid to late game. So this is exactly where Teleport can be useful. So not only is it useful for other situations, but it can be useful for lane sustain. Because if you happen to choose a champion that maybe is not the best laner, maybe, I don't know, a Veigar or even a Kassadin, having the option to be able to return to base, heal, and then come back to lane within a matter of seconds is huge, because not only that, you will also buy items very quickly from the base, and then you will return, and you will be an item or two ahead of your enemy mid laner. And as a result, chances are you might be able to start pushing them out of lane and start forcing them to maybe miss CS, or force them to have to go back to their base and heal up and buy items as well, which as a result, if you end up doing that, will pretty much force them to miss experience and minion CS as well. So it can really work out in your favor quite well. Alright, so the second reason is the fact that the early to mid game lane support and counter ganks that are offered with the Summoner Teleport can be extremely beneficial, and it can almost be game changing. So one thing I want to note is that we all know that junglers can be extremely beneficial and game changing through the early to mid game in terms of how well they can snowball a lane and which lanes come out victorious. Now, wouldn't it be good to have the option to be able to counter their ability and pretty much their sole purpose? Think about it. If your bottom lane or your top laner are getting ganked by the jungler and you see them coming, and maybe it's too late for them to get out safely, and they will have to pretty much get into a fight or make a really miraculous escape. If you have the teleport, you can teleport in there and maybe turn around and nullify the gank completely, or in a better scenario, maybe even get a kill and possibly, snowball yourself and or your top laner or bottom laner depending to where you teleport. Now, wouldn't this be very, very useful and beneficial? You can pretty much not only shut down the enemy jungler's sole purpose and role, which is to snowball a lane and gank it, but you will also in turn snowball either yourself and or the person or the people that you've teleported to in the bottom or top lane. So this could be very, very useful. Or, you don't even need to counter gank a jungler. You can simply just teleport in the lane. For example, you can tell your bottom lane that you'll teleport to a certain ward in maybe 5 seconds, and they can bait a fight. They can maybe do a fight where either they're losing, and then the enemy team or the people that are, fighting them will think that they have the upper hand. And then you teleport in, and you completely turn it around in your favor, and you just get free kills. That's huge. It can be completely game-changing as to how hard the lane can snowball just from something as simple as that, and just having the ability to do that. And I mean, it's completely game-changing, and I really recommend you guys try this out, and it can really help you guys win lane, even in solo queue, when you can just not only try and win your lane, but you can also teleport to other lanes and try winning them for them as well. And the third reason as to why I like teleport is the ability to split push late game, or even to counter enemy split pushes. So think about how good this can be. I actually won a game solely from being Lissandra, I believe it was, and I split pushed bottom. We were actually behind, and I just kept split pushing bottom. And I did it extremely well because Lissandra is hard to kill. You need to send at least 2 people to kill her because she has really good escapes and a lot of CC. So it's hard to catch her too well. And if they ended up sending 2 or more people to try and stop me, my team, which would be on the other side, maybe around Baron, will have a lot of impact around that area. They can maybe force a Baron, they can maybe force another turret in the top or middle lane, and it can be really impactful in 2 different areas of the map instantly. And this offers me the ability to pretty much be in 2 areas of the map at the same time. So, it's really, really good. And if the enemy team is split pushing, so maybe like, Shen, the infamous split pusher Shen, is pushing our top lane, there's 2 choices I can do. Either I can be with him in the top lane and just stall the lane, just pretty much nullify his push and make him pretty useless. And then if he teleports away with his ultimate, I'll just follow him with my own teleport. Or I can be with my team, pushing middle, pushing maybe top, getting objectives like a Baron or a Dragon. And if the Shen decides to keep pushing and maybe we're not really doing so hot at getting an objective and he's getting a little too far with the push, not a problem. I can just teleport instantly to where he is and I'll pretty much stop the push and I'll just save our turret or our inhibitor, which is very, very useful, rather than waiting for the 6-second back or 7 seconds or whatever it is, or maybe just running all the way over there. That'll give him a whole 10 extra seconds to be able to do whatever he wants. So these are the main reasons as to why I like teleport more than pretty much Ignite on a lot of casters, and I really recommend you guys try it out. But keep in mind that the laning phase might be a bit harder just because you don't have the Ignite. But if you can bait out the Ignite in a fight, you can simply back, and then you can teleport back in, and you'll be full HP, and you're ready to go. You're ready to tossle again. So check out my article. Also, guys, on Cloth 5, I wrote it pretty much discussing what I've said here, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Peace!